What the hell was that? Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a BMX Streets video. And it's been a long time coming. I've been making countless videos on when's BMX Streets coming out and all this, and the only video I've uploaded that's actually to do with BMX Streets since it's come out is a how-to on how to import the modded maps. But today I want to talk about my honest opinions on this, and this isn't kind of like my typical honest review videos that I've done on previous games, but it is more of a carefree kind of let me just talk to you about how I'm feeling about the game in its current state. I've been streaming the game from day one. I think I was like the first person in the world to stream the game on the day release at the time. Again, I could be wrong, don't quote me on it, but that's from what I'm aware of, that's what was happening. But I got it day release. I got it the moment it came out. £45.99 was how much the game cost, and yeah, that price was that was a lot for an indie game, and it didn't stick around that way for long. It then got lowered down to £33.50 after 8 hours. So, and because I'd already done a 5-hour stream after the price had already been dropped, I couldn't refund it to get it lowered, to get the lower price. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I've been playing this since, you know, day release. I've got over 30 hours in this game already. I haven't been doing the challenges as much. I've just been doing like kind of free roaming and exploring and a lot of riding. A lot of riding. I've been trying to improve my skills, but that's not what we're talking about. I saw a lot of people, and I mean a ton of people, bad mouthing the game, saying how terrible it was, giving it loads of bad reviews. And I'll be honest, I don't know. It's difficult because there were parts where I'm like, you know what, I agree, but then it's not all of it. It's only some of it. Like the price, for example, I think the price was too high. That was my issue on day one. I was like, no, the price is way too high for what it is. It feels too clunky, blah 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 blah. In the end, when it did get reduced, it was like, okay, you know what, fair enough, this is a better price. Mash is listening. And I think the fact that Mash did listen so early on, and when I say Mash, I mean the Mash team, not just the one guy, because there is a handful of people working on this game, whether it be on the social media side or whether it be advertising, whatever. There's still people working on it, despite Mash being like the main person in it. But the fact that they're listening, there's already been like 5 updates in 3 days, which is crazy, and I just think that's super cool. You know, he's taking on the feedback, he's listening. I'll put the patch notes on the screen of what he's updated already, and it's really cool to see that he's actually working on things. And these are things that were like genuinely quite jarring, but now, you know, he's working on them. And I think the biggest issue that I was having with people, not necessarily with people, was that they weren't giving it a chance. Do you know what I mean? There were people who were like, bought the game, and after 10 minutes they refunded it, review bombed it, and then that was it. That was their day done. And I just don't get it, because if you're not willing to put the time and effort into the game, then you're really not going to learn it. And I understand it's one of those games, because I said as well, like, I don't want a game where I'm having to stress myself out and grind the game to enjoy it. But you kind of do at the same time. Like I said this on my stream last night, like, because a lot of people are asking, because I'm still playing it, you know, 3 days after release, you know, I haven't refunded it or whatever, am I enjoying it? And it's one of those things, like, I am, because it's challenging. Do you know what I mean? It's that challenging aspect that makes it more enjoyable. Like when I do eventually get that trick I've been grinding for, despite how easy it is to other people, I finally did it. Like, I find tweaks hard, for example, but when I can get a good tweak, it really does feel good. Like that was a tweak there, but it's the perfect tweaks that are like ones that are difficult. But I'll go back into that later. But it's, my point still stands, like when you get that trick that you've been grinding for, or that line, is really satisfying. And I get it, because the controls can be tricky, and I can see that's why people are annoyed. But I genuinely think that it's one of the things that I agree with. Like the grinds, because it is a physics-based game, it's similar to Scooter Flow in that sense, where the grinds are kind of just what they should be in real life. You have to kind of go for it. in that same mentality. Same with the pumping. It's all very, very physics based, because obviously, funny enough, it's a physics based game. It is a big jump because a lot of people were expecting a more polished version of Pipe. It is and it isn't, because Pipe was good, but there were a lot of things that could be better, and BMX Streets followed through on that. They, you know, got the bike customization. They didn't have player customization, but you can choose between different pro riders, which is something. That's something I will address a little later on. But, you know, you've got multiplayer, which is insane, which is so good, because I love playing with you guys in lobbies sometimes. Stop, for the love of God, please stop doing a bar spin. You guys, I swear to Christ, get out of my way. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, Obsidian. I'm just standing still here. Go around. Oh my God. I swear to God. But because of how different the physics are, it can be a big change. Like, doing a lucky like that is so easy, because it just feels how a lucky should feel. But there's also things like, I don't know, like when you go for a double peg and it just kind of slips you off, like there's no kind of magnet pulling. That's the whole thing. Pipe was all animations, and Streets is all very much, say, like all very physics based. So if I want to do a 360, it's going to feel a little more heavy, but it's kind of how a 360 is. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm not making sense, but I know what I'm trying to say. And there are a lot of things I struggled with, and I'm going to be fully transparent. I'm not going to kind of butt lick this whole time, because frankly there are things that I struggled with and things that annoyed me. Most of the things that I struggled with are the things that did change between this and Pipe. Like the bar spins and the tail whips, they're not difficult to do, because, you know, they're similar to Pipe. But then there are things that did change, like the grinds. The grinds are very difficult for me personally, and people adapt differently and quicker than others. But for me personally, I did. It's taken me a lot longer to kind of get used to the grind. That was sick. And the skids as well. The skid is a really cool feature, because you can hold the right trigger and then push the controller and the sticks in the same direction, and it will do a skid. So yeah, the skids are hard. It's hard to do it in the challenges, because there's these cone challenges, like this yellow one over here. You have to knock over the cones, go through the gates. It can be a little difficult. I found it a little challenging, but I did my first one today, so I'm like, yeah, cool, great. You actually have to do a cone challenge to unlock the first cassette as well, so that's an incentive. The pumping as well. The pumping I'm getting used to. I'm getting better for it, but like, it's still something, like, I'm still getting used to it. It's saying this, because it's new, it's very hard to adjust to. And the same for the tweaks. I can do tweaks, but I can't always do like perfect tweaks. Like, that was a tweak there. Can I do a perfect tweak? Nope, apparently not. And yeah, despite the video that the old potato made on how to do it, it's still, the video can only do so much. It's all about practice, and these people aren't putting in the time. The people that don't like the game aren't putting in the time to improve that. And I get it, it's meant to be a casual game, but if you want to be good at it, that's the kind of thing that you have to kind of be prepared for, in my opinion. Oh, Brenty Claw, thank you for subscribing. You get a shout out whilst I'm recording. But despite the things that I don't like, or the things that I'm not good at, there are a lot of things that I do like. And I think that they should be addressed as well, because it's not all doom and gloom. But having an opinion on things that you do like and don't like is important when it comes to games and reviews and just things in general. So the things that I do like are things like the customization. Like, just look at the bike customization. You can unlock parts. These are just some of the frames I've unlocked, and I've only got on like 116 styles or something like that. You can get so many cool different frames. You can get so many cool different seats. You can get like fat seats. You can get like thinner seats. You can get ripped seats. Like, look at this. You want that proper street seat? There you go. You got a nice ripped seat right there. Then you can do like seat clamps. You can also configure shit. So you got like front wheel. So for example, I don't want the peg. I don't want a peg on that side. No, not for me. No hub guard on that side. No hub guard outside. No hub guard. There we go. No peg. And then we got like a proper park front wheel, because we got no pegs, no hub guards. Do you know what I mean? It's all things that it's completely preferenced. You can do it same with the back wheel, so it's really cool that you can like turn it on and off. I just think it's, you know, it's little things. But you can also adjust the handlebar. Like, it's all that kind of customization. It's the little things that really are quite cool. You can adjust the seat height and the pitch of it and which way it's facing. Yeah, I'll have it that way. That seems like a reasonable way to have the seat. And then the drivetrain as well, we can change left side, right side drive, either way. We can have the sprocket on with no chain, but we can also have no sprocket, no chain, and that will really help you train your pumping. I'm not going to do it because that's crazy. But my point still stands. But something else I like as well is obviously the characters, the unlocking. You have to do challenges, you get stars, and then with the stars you unlock different characters. I currently have 116 stars, like I said, and I've unlocked all of these characters. I think the most recent was the creator, which is Mash himself. I'll be honest, not just Mash, but like the characters in general look terrifying. I don't know why, they just look really scary, but I think that's really cool to have. I love the challenges that you can do. You got the tutorials, races, drift races, spots, trick attacks, tech attacks, lines, secret gaps. They're all really cool, and they all really add to the game to give you something to actually do. But also the multiplayer is such a sick feature as well. The lobbies have gotten smaller since the initial release. I believe maybe it was always meant to be 4 players, but I have seen bigger lobbies. Maybe that was hacker lobbies, I don't know. But I was playing with some of you guys last night in the stream, and I think it was really cool, mostly. But the multiplayer itself is a really cool feature. I'm glad they have it because it just means we can do sessions with your friends, you know. And for those of you who have been in my stream, you'll know that my kind of favorite go-to trick is a 5 cab, because they just look so clean. There's just a lot of fluidity in it, and I love doing, I don't know, like pivot outs in streets. It just feels proper street, especially on a cassette. You can just kind of pivot round and it just feels steezy. Now the things I've changed, because there obviously are things that do need to be addressed, do need to be changed, and I don't have a ton because I know that a lot of them have already been addressed. So I'm not going to be like covering the most commonly said ones, but I am going to be covering the ones that I feel need to be addressed the most. I think to kind of appeal to more players, and don't get me wrong, I am getting used to the streets physics and the streets controls, but for returning players from pipe, I do think there should be legacy controls where you can play using the old pipe controls. So pumping would be how it was in pipe, but then grinds as well, they need to be how they were in pipe as well. Maybe manuals, but that's essentially it. Like in that sense, I just think there should be an option to have pipe controls, and I think that would convert a lot more players from not liking the game to really feeling like they're at home with a BMX game. There also needs to be more tricks. There needs to be more tricks. I'm so tired of this. The fuck is that? And then, oh, it's okay, switch one-hander. And then don't worry guys, I've got the 1-footer, and then I've also got the ragdoll. Love it. But you get my point. Like, there's no X-ups, there's no hang fives, there's no nothings, there's no Superman, there's no foot jam whips. Despite us having foot jams, which are janky in themselves, I don't know, they just don't feel right. The modded foot jam and foot jam whip just felt better. Maybe it's because I played it for longer, but I also do just feel like it was better. And I know that the item dropper will be coming at some point, so I think that would help fill up some of those dead spaces in the city. So I'm not going to be talking about, oh, the city's too big and too dead, not enough space. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know he's aware of that, he's working on it. I'm pretty sure he's aware of most of the things I'm covering, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But I think the big thing to take away from this is, would I recommend it? Yes, I would. I think it's a really enjoyable BMX gaming experience, and if you're willing to put the time in to learn the controls and the tricks and follow the tutorials, then you're going to have a good time playing it. It's going to be a good game to play with your friends, especially if you are a BMX rider or an action sports lover. I think this will be a really good thing for you to play. I know there's a lot of comparison between this and like Riders Republic, for example, but honestly, Riders Republic is terrible. So if you're going to want to play an enjoyable BMX game, I'd recommend getting BMX Streets, especially now the price has been reduced. But this is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me just kind of ramble about my thoughts and opinions on BMX Streets. If you did enjoy it, please do let me know in the comments. Leave a like while you're down there, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sick.